Mongoose Jake here to do my review of the Nerf Alien Menace Ravager. Now, this blaster has been out for a little while, the Alien Menace line actually having come and gone mostly, and now you find it either online or in some specialty stores like Ollie's or Ross. And I actually got this blaster given to me by those of you may know him as Pirate Johnson. That's what he goes by on YouTube and on Facebook. He is a blaster enthusiast, just like most of us watching this channel, but he happens to live close enough to me. He actually drove over to where I live and handed me this along with a couple of other items. And I want to go ahead and get this review done because I have had this now in my hands for almost a couple weeks at this point, and I have found out that, spoiler, I like the thing. I didn't expect to. That's why I'm saying that right up front. I actually expected to be kind of bleh about it, or meh, because I expected it to be basically a overcomplicated, underperforming, but highly stylish blaster. Now, it is very uniquely styled. It is very complicated internally. I posted up some pictures on my Facebook page that if you don't already follow me on Facebook, you should. I will post up pictures, I'll put up my videos, and just some little tidbits here and there, including I will reshare giveaways from companies that I like to deal with. But I posted up some pictures of the internals of this thing, and they are complicated. Now, this is not an overly big blaster, and it's actually not very wide. If you look at it, it's got a very nice thin profile. And despite looking crazy, the handles are not uncomfortable. This front pump action is actually very comfortably designed. And so is the rear. Again, I have XL or 2XL size hands when it comes to gloves. That's the only thing I can reference. You know, I'm an adult and I wear large gloves. And for me, I have plenty of room in this. And that's all you can ask for. It's comfortable, and the action is actually very smooth. Now, it only holds 8 darts, and that's an issue. It's a front loader with a capacity of 8, and it would seem like there's a lot going on up here, because as you've seen, you pump it, fire it, it rotates after firing, and not only that, but you have a 2x4 type of loading. You have 2 darts in each little wing or spine sticking out, and each of the 2 has its own little air restrictor in here, and that whole mechanism rotates and it starts firing. The sequence is inside, 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 and then outside, 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 and that's something I'm going to touch on here in a second. I did test this on the Chronograph fairly extensively because it has a quirk. And some of you who have experience modding or plenty of experience with this type of air restrictor, which is a smart AR system, you're probably already going to know what I'm going to say. You have a vastly different performance from the inner set of barrels to the outer set. I was actually averaging above the elite performance on the inside, not by a lot. I was getting about 72 to 73 routinely with a wide variance of darts, with some really brand new darts getting all the way up to in the mid to even a couple of shots in the upper 70s. But my average is about 72 feet per second on the inner barrels only. And then on the outer barrels, it dropped drastically. I lost all the way up to 10 to 15 feet per second going to the outer set of barrels. The outer set was only averaging about 60 feet per second. And I tested it over and over and over to try to get enough shots, because sample size is important, especially with chrono data. If you fire 5 shots and average them out, well, you might get either a really good set of shots because the darts were brand new, had a good air seal to the barrel, and they fired very well. Well, or 5 shots of really old, worn-out darts fired terribly. Well, if you fire 100 or 200 shots, like I did, you'll get a pretty consistent data. And again, it all evened out. About 72 feet per second average on the inside, and about 60 to 62 depending on the dart on the outside barrel. So yes, if you have darts loaded on the inside, and only that inside, they make it only a 4-shot, this thing would be one of the slightly better performing blasters in Nerf's lineup, which was surprising. I suspected this would be one of those that looks neat, functions neat, but was a little on the light performance side. But no, it's, at least on the inside, it performed well. And the action is smooth. I mean, there's no clankety, ratchety, grindy feeling to this, which I kind of suspected, especially considering some of their other weird designs. Like, say, the integrated clip of the Ruckus has a very, very grinding feel to the ratchet when you prime it, because it ratchets, and this has almost that sound to it, but no, it's smooth as can be. And combined with the unique look, the shell has some translucent parts here, and I also put a picture of that up on my Facebook, and again, I'll probably either include them in here or I'll just put a link to it, but this would be a great candidate for some LED lighting. And there's enough dead space in the handle here that you could hollow it out on the inside, take some of the reinforcing ribs out, and put a battery in here, wire it up, and just put an LED here to where this whole back end glowed, and that would be really neat. So, like I said at the start, I actually really like this blaster. Now, the internals are going to be very complicated to work with. There's a lot of parts there that could be easily misplaced or lost. There's not going to be a whole lot of ceiling to the mod potential for this blaster. However, just for a fun, pick it up, use it blaster, it does have a sling attachment point, so you could run this as a secondary. And having a front loader as a secondary is a very nice idea. You might think that's a little chunky for a secondary when you can just carry a pistol, but this blaster would also be great for a arena gameplay, because your closer ranges, you're favoring quick reloads and smooth, fast priming. If you're a Springer user, this is something to consider. Yeah, it looks crazy, but it's pretty neat in my opinion. And looks are going to be very, very, very much on the personal side. You're either going to look at this and say, hey, I like that, or that's not for me. And I can't tell you, you looking at the camera can tell yourself. But what I found is I actually found a very comfortable blaster that had very few malfunctions. Now, I say very few because it was not trouble-free. The one thing I have found is that it doesn't advertise Slamfire, but at least the packaging didn't, but it does have it. Now, in some cases you can get that nice smooth Slamfire, and in some cases you can go a little too fast, and you will lock it up to where you'll be sitting there trying to push it back, and you just kind of sped up too fast for the system. Doesn't happen a lot, but it will happen. And of course, the other malfunction, if you want to call it that, is if your darts are a little worn, especially on the outside barrel, they will do the typical smart AR thing of they'll work themselves forward to where they just flop out when you fire, or they'll fall out before you even fire. That's not specific to this blaster. That goes for any of the smart AR blasters. Say the bottom couple shots on a rough cut, the bottom shot on a double strike, and so on and so forth. But this one, it will have that happen to you. So just be expecting that if you do happen to pick one up. Now, is it something I can recommend? That comes down to where you can get it. If you can get this at a Ross or an Ollie's or so on and so forth, or you find it on sale, well, yeah, I could see this as being worth picking up. Currently, Amazon has them for $28. I just checked literally before turning the camera on. I don't think I would consider this to be a $30 blaster. It only holds 8 shots. It's not got a lot of mod potential in the end. It's neat and unique, but even though I was a little surprised by its performance still isn't on the level of what I expect. I can easily pick up a number of other blasters from other brands that outperform this in the same size or smaller packages. For me, personally, a very neat blaster that I like that's spring action is the Dart Zone Havoc. It's also sold under the Adventure Force brand. It's a $10 blaster that comes with 2 8-shot clips, and they are clips, not mags, and with a side priming. It's one I love. I bought extra clips for it. That one's hard to beat for a unique blaster, and it outperforms this in stock form, and has a little bit more mod potential. But for a very unique looking blaster that does works well, Nerf should take note of this. It works. It works well. It's not a class leader in any way, shape, or form in anything, but it offers a unique looking and operating option, and that's all we need. And I'm going to probably put something like I think this is going to take something along the lines of a strong arm spring, so I'll probably put like a 4.5 or 5 kilogram spring, because I don't want to kill it, and I'm not going to go for max performance. I just want a little bump up, maybe see if I can't get it to in the 80s somewhere. So I'll probably do like a strong arm spring. If any of you have already gutted your Alien Menace Ravager and have upgraded it, let me know. I didn't tear it down fully. I just went into getting to where I could show some pictures of what the internals look like, because there's a lot going on inside this shell. But I'm probably going to open it up at some point, drop in a spring, which, again, let me know if you've already done yours and what spring it used, because I'm going to guess it's going to use like a Spectre or a strong arm spring. If I'm wrong, let me know, but because I'd rather have the spring on hand and not be surprised. But I do see it as being worthy of being in your arsenal, if for nothing else other than some backyard fun with the friends or with the family. But you can also use it for arena, because you don't need super high performance in that realm. But this is Mongoose Jake with my review of the Nerf Alien Menace Ravager. I do like the blaster, and I definitely want to thank Pirate Johnson for handing this off to me for the review. I get to review it and keep it, so that's 100% thanks to him. And if you want to check this out, I will put that Amazon link in the description below, but I don't recommend purchasing it there unless you absolutely have to. Because check your local Ross or Ollie's. I don't have a Ross anywhere near me, but I did have an Ollie's, and they had it for under $20. I was going to say $15.99. And if that's the case, if you have one of those near you, that's a better option. But this is Mongoose Jake with my review of the Alien Menace Ravager. Hope you enjoyed it. Thanks for watching.